I've been selling my soul, working all day. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, whatever. Happy Thursday. Very happy to talk to you again. Billy's fresh off of a
Binder.
hellacious weekend in the Sin City.
I think Thursday I was drunk for like 14 hours straight.
That's nice. What do you drink?
Mostly whiskey.
Whiskey's a good one to get.
Yeah, Jameson ginger ale.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty easy for the Vegas waitresses.
Sure.
And then some beer mixed in.
Yeah. Whiskey's good to, if your plan is to get demolished,
Yeah,
I think.
At some points I go a little bit of vodka Red Bull too.
Nice. Yeah, that's when it gets late. You got to switch.
Catch a second wind.
Switch vodka Red Bull. You know, mixing liquors is a losing, like it's a practice that people don't do anymore, but it's worth it, I think. You save money. You save money if you start with a whiskey and then you drink a vodka.
Well, as long as you're gambling in Vegas, it's free.
That's true too. Yeah, you got to tip them though.
It's definitely not free, but it is free.
It's cheaper than it would be. Well, no, not even considering everything you're gambling.
For the amount I drank, I probably drank almost what I lost.
Yeah.
Because I started winning. I lost a lot the Thursday night, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning I did pretty good.
Nice. What do you
But
play?
I was playing a bunch of blackjack, and then there's this game that's these fake racehorses. They're like these magnetic horses.
Yeah.
I can show you a video. I got my buddy's cousin hooked on it.
And you can bet on those.
Yeah, you bet on it. Basically, like you go up to it's kind of set up like an OTB machine.
Yeah.
At like a, one of those off-track betting places. But you see a little dome of these fake magnetic racehorses.
Wow, they move. I wasn't expecting them to move like that.
No, it's pretty awesome. There's also like a video playing, simulating what's going on, and it's addicting. I had him ripping on his horses.
Is that like okay? So the how do they determine who wins? It's a predetermined thing, like a slot
so
machine
it's
or
like
something.
Simulated odds, yeah, and it'll show like this horse's odds are 2x. That's the favorite, and then there's long shots in there that might be 60x or 100x, all just based on like the simulation of the games.
So there's still chance.
Yeah, there's still names and everything too. So it's like, like say it was called Lucky Strike, and that was actually a real horse.
I know.
And then
I lost money on that
Secretariat. They would come up and then say like, 10 races from now. They're like real simulated horses that are racing against each other.
Interesting. Yeah, I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
When I worked at the casino, it was all old guys staring at like those little tiny screens.
The real OTV machines.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, we're happy to have you back. We're happy that you have less money.
Yeah.
in your
Pockets are lighter.
pockets.
I'm lighter.
Yeah, you floated in here today. Anyway, guys, I really wanted to talk about my new favorite song, Men North of Richmond. It seems like a lot of people's new favorite song. It's like the biggest. We're kind of old news here. Like this song's been out for a little bit, but it's been at the top. It's been number one for a little while, and mainly because...
On what, TikTok?
Is it TikTok? I don't know. No, on Billboard. It's like one of it got a record.
Is it even a full song?
Yeah, it's a full song. You haven't heard the full song?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've seen like a minute of it on TikTok. Is it
Right.
longer than a minute?
Yeah, it is. It's like 3 and change or something. He I mean it's kind of unprecedented how big it's gotten, considering he's not part of a major label or anything, and he filmed the whole thing in his backyard. But what's most interesting is that this hillbilly backwoods fucking dude from West Virginia, who like a month ago decided to get sober and give himself up to the Lord Jesus Christ, all of a sudden now is like massive, kind of out of nowhere. It's weird. Especially when you look at some of the lyrics. Like one of the lyrics that everyone's kind of up in arms about is the part about fat people. where he's like, if you're
That's the only good one.
if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds. And people didn't like that. People didn't like that part. But it for whatever reason is uniting people because everybody is sick of the condition of things, and it takes some guy in Appalachia, in the mountains of Appalachia, a forgotten landscape, really, a forgotten people. They're all miners, right? He has he says, I wish politicians would look out for miners and not just miners on an island somewhere. That's bars. That's kind of fire. That's fire.
It's like a triple entendre.
Yeah, I wish they'd look out for miners, but not miners on an island somewhere. And when he performs that live, people scream that part. They love that part.
Was he disregarding the miners on Jeffrey Epstein Island?
Are you talking about the coal miners on Jeffrey
no.
Epstein Island?
I mean the actual miners.
Yeah. Being fucked. Yeah, right.
Diddled.
Being diddled. Yeah, I don't know. I think for whatever reason, what he's saying is resonating with people. For the longest time, people seemed not to care that there was an island where,
Miners were being diddled?
children were being compromised by the most powerful people in the world. And if you said that to somebody or made a song about it at that point in time, people would look at you like you're a sicko. What do you mean there's an island? They should kill that guy immediately who's running that. If it was real, right? Back in the day, people would have said that's bullshit. But now this guy, he's out here he's full bore. He's leaning in. And what's interesting is they used his song in the debates, the Republican debates. They opened it with his music, which is probably illegal if I had to guess, if he didn't, sign off on it.
That's a good way to get paid.
Yeah, but he's saying he hasn't signed anything, he hasn't done anything. He's going to stay independent, which means he's going to stay broke and in obscurity, probably, unless he's, Mac Miller or something. Yeah, because that whole song is about how bad both sides are, just how bad the system is as a whole. And they're like, well, this will be a good song because he has a southern accent and he sounds like a guy who would fuck his cousin and vote for...
Looks like one, too.
Yeah, and vote for, a Republican. So they decided to use his song on the Republican GOP debate, the first one that happened last week, that former President Trump wasn't at. He put out his thing on Twitter with Tucker Carlson. It would have been cool if he had gotten Oliver, whatever his name is, Oliver Anthony, the guy whose music this is, if he had gotten him to play that song in the intro of his show, that would have been, spectacular. But the fact that it was played for a bunch of normie, cocksucking, regular politicians, unlike, God Almighty, Mr. Trump, it was... He even said that. He's like, this song is against all of them. Every single person on that stage. It's like if they played what's the song? War Machine by Black Sabbath. Generals gathered in their masses, just like witches at black masses. He rhymed masses and masses, which is garbage. That's not bars at all. But it's like if they opened a UN conference with that song. Or if they opened a national summit with, Country Joe and the Fish, Feel Like I'm Fixin' to Die. All these songs, it wouldn't make sense. Or Metallica, they put on One, right? That one's about war. It's, but nonetheless, this guy, for whatever reason, has popped off. It's great. Good for him. He is the only country star in the top 3 songs in the country. And I say that because the piece of information that's been trending is that the top 3 songs in the country are country songs, which are false. He has the number 1. Number 2 is big, fat, chubby queer. What else can you say bad about Luke Combs? um, it's him singing. It's a cover of a non-country song. It's see, he's number one. Isn't that crazy? Oliver, that's his name, right? Oliver Anthony. He's been at number one for 2 weeks.
Got 2 first names, the fucking
Yeah,
liar.
I guess you can't trust him, right? See, and then Luke Combs is Fast Car. He's number 2, and then Morgan Wallen Last Night. So 2 pop artists and an actual hillbilly are at the top. I don't know. A lot of people like Luke Combs and Morgan Wallen, that vein of country music. It wouldn't exist. A lot of those artists wouldn't exist if it weren't for them making songs with rappers, if we're being honest. Have you listened to Morgan Wallen at all?
Don't know who he is.
It's good. Good. That's actually a good thing. His songs are like, it's like he's rapping with a guy's voice from Tennessee. Like, and they're calling it country
So
music. It's
Nelly?
more like, it's very similar to Nelly, if I'm being honest. It's like that Nelly and Tim McGraw song, Over and Over Again, blah,
Okay.
blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's like that mashup shit.
That's got a country vibe to it, though.
It's got a vibe, yeah, I guess. That song in particular, yeah, because it's got the twangy guitar in the background, and the music video is very country-esque. But this kid is like, I don't know. I don't want to hate, even though that's the theme of this show. But he I don't know. He's very he's got his own lane, his own style, whatever. But I don't know if it's country music. Country music is supposed to be a guy with a scraggly beard, spitting in a jug, with his cousin who plays a 1-string bass. Talking about hopping freight trains and shit.
Or like his harvester broke down.
Yeah, something legitimate. And then Luke Combs, he's singing Fast Car by Tracy Chapman, which
heard of
is, you might have heard that one. It's pretty sad. It's like a sad song about a woman whose alcoholic boyfriend. You got a fast car, and I got a ticket to get us out of here. Ba-na-na-na-na-na. It's a lot shorter, slower. But anyway, it's like a sad song about a woman whose alcoholic boyfriend won't clean himself up, and but she's hopeful, and she's like, I got a job, and we're gonna move, and he's like, fuck you, I'm gonna keep being an alcoholic. And it sounds like a song that a woman would sing. It doesn't sound like a song that a big burly guy from wherever Luke Combs is from.
Like something Diplo would quote before hitting a big bass drop.
Sure. Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that. The other kid that we're talking about, Morgan Wallen, works with Diplo. They just dropped like a whole thing
Diplo
together.
still did stuff, so.
Yeah, exactly. He can thank Morgan Wallen for that. I don't know. I actually like the song Men North of Richmond. I like the name of it. I became a fan of that kid. It's interesting that he's gotten the power. He's got more power to unite people than any local fucking state government or community or anything like that. He, for whatever reason, has gotten people to the point, and it's strange that it took him to do that. It's strange that it took that long, or this long. I mean, I guess it's like a fucking periodical thing. Every once in a while, you get somebody that does this, but for whatever reason, this kid, people like him. How long before we see him on Joe Rogan is the question. I'd have to guess he's going to be on there soon. Talking about, deer elk hunting. Elk hunting and how all the problems with the government.
Has he done anything long form? Like, will this be when people find out he's actually, like, has Down syndrome or something?
Yeah, right? Imagine he sits with Joe, and he's like, I don't know how I wrote the song.
I don't like the government.
Yeah. Like he doesn't have fat people in his family that love fudge rounds. And
What is a fudge round?
It's one of those. It's like a Little Debbie's fucking cancer cake, you know.
Like a yodel or something?
Well, it's like one of those sandwiches. Like the top is a cookie, the bottom's a cookie, and the middle's got like cream. It's like all chocolate. Yeah, it's one of those life shorteners, you know. Which
Pepperidge Farm, maybe.
It could be Pepperidge Farm. Those snacks. I mean, he's right about that. If we're being honest, those snacks are deadly. They are deadly. Some nights I can't help it. I will have eaten a whole meal, and living 30 steps from a bodega is not good.
We've spoken Entenmann's on here before, and now we're going down the Drake's Cakes and Pepperidge Farm and.
Yeah, well, Entenmann's is. I mean, I think we had high praise for Entenmann's when we talked about it, if I remember correctly. I think
Why
we were.
wouldn't you?
Yeah, right. I think we're all for Entenmann's. They're not bad, but the fudge rounds, they're classless. You're a classless pig if you eat fudge rounds, and you probably deserve to be on welfare. Supposedly, they're trying to fix that. And they've been trying to fix that. That people who are on welfare aren't allowed to be fat. They're not allowed to buy things like that.
Should run them off like hamsters, produce some power or something.
Yeah. Wait, maybe instead we should get rid of the food. Maybe that. I mean, if it's there, people are gonna buy it. Maybe it's bad that a lot of the things we like to eat have 30 ingredients in them. Many of them illegal in other countries. You know, I don't know if limiting what people can buy with their welfare checks, I don't know if that helps anyone. I don't know if that, if people are going to have the willpower. They might just use the cash that they have on them. They're going to buy them anyway, you know. People on welfare, some of them literally only have welfare, but some of them are getting some money on the side, which
Give them cocaine instead or something.
Yeah.
Crack.
Yeah, exactly. They're hustling on the side, which is illegal, but they're doing it. So they're just going to use the welfare money to buy other things, and they'll use their cash for snacks, you know? That's funny that's also the big that's a big part of that song when most of that guy's fan base is probably obese. If I had to guess, right? Maybe, and I'd probably assume that a lot of them are on welfare too. Yeah, I don't know. It's again interesting and unprecedented that a guy that looks like he should be in a coal mine somewhere, and probably is right now, is at the top, especially when he's like, it's like Tony Soprano being the leading man, or James Gandolfini being a leading. He's like a big fat balding guy. Nobody suspected it to happen, so now it's this guy. Anyway, we're gonna see what happens with him. Massive trajectory. On the other side, the other spectrum of entertainment, The Weeknd, who is gorgeous and famous as fuck, and everyone.
Is he gorgeous, though?
I don't know. I think he is, right? People say he is. Compared to Oliver Anthony, who we've been talking about for the past 15
Maybe I'll
minutes.
give you that.
Yeah, he might be okay. I didn't even know he had a show, and it's already been canceled. See, this is the problem. People, they want to do too much, okay? You're not Prince. You're not, there's people that come once in a lifetime, and they're able to do a lot of things. They're able to do well in a lot of different disciplines. If you're as famous as The Weeknd, count your blessings. Keep making your songs about doing drugs and banging whores and spending money and whatever else that you sing about. Keep doing that. The fact that every person that has a pop or has any level of fame thinks that they can go and do something else successfully. I mean, he got a contract with HBO. he's never. I mean, other than his music videos, I don't think The Weeknd has many TV credits. I don't know if he's wrote much.
He's in Uncut Gems.
Yes, he is. I remember that. He's in Uncut
I think
Gems.
he plays himself, though.
He pretty much plays himself.
Doesn't count.
And he's trying to bang Adam Sandler's girlfriend in that movie.
Yeah, so playing himself doesn't count.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's easy. That's nothing. And now he wants to. Now his show is. He got to deal with HBO, which not as big as it once was, but still a big deal. I mean, if you got a show on HBO, it's a big deal.
I already closed the article, but does it say anything like? Is it because of the actor strike? Do they have to cut back on? The actors and
I think it
writers'
just
strikes?
sucks. I think people didn't like it.
I mean, shows are going to get cut because of the strikes.
That's true too. Yeah, a lot of shows are taking a beating.
Yeah, see, like all the other congruent articles are
Yeah,
Dune's delayed. And
The Killer. Is that going to be about? No, forget it. I thought it was going to be about Jerry Lee Lewis.
yeah, Oppenheimer, they had to cut 30 employees, because of this and that.
Wow. Yeah, Oppenheimer didn't make enough money. They. Now I want to know what this show's about because apparently nobody liked it. It's a controversial show, even though it's on HBO, which is supposed to be, all things go. So let's see. The Idol was one of HBO's most provocative original programs, and we're pleased by the strong audience response, said a spokesperson for HBO. After much thought and consideration, HBO as well as the creators and producers have decided not to move forward with a second season. We're grateful to the creators, cast, and crew for their incredible work. Okay, so he starts off by saying he's pleased with how everyone likes the show, and now nobody likes the show. It doesn't seem to say. Can we find can we go back to the original thing I sent you? Because I think it said what the show is actually about. Yeah. Scroll down. Oh, no, huh? Well, either... Oh, right there. There it is.
Synopsis, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. After having a nervous breakdown that caused the cancellation of her last tour, an aspiring pop star begins a complicated relationship with a self-help guru and the head of a contemporary cult. This sounds like a movie. This sounds like Hollywood. This sounds like Los Angeles. I can't see why this show that's been done 30 or 40 times already, whether it be a movie, whether it be another show, why it's not successful.
Sounds like a shitty Entourage.
Yes, I've never seen Entourage.
Oh, it's pretty good.
But it's like that's a comedy, right? It's a comedy.
Yeah,
sort of.
Yeah, it's a comedy drama. First few seasons of Entourage, classic, like top tier television.
That's what I've heard. I've heard Entourage is a good one, and I've probably seen bits and pieces. But I mean, this has all the makings of a show that gets one season and then gets canceled. This show, The Idol. Interesting name, considering it's about a cult. I do love cults. I've always been a big proponent of cults because it is interesting to think of the person that would join a cult. It's probably similar to the person who would join a gang. Only thing that's different is cults are usually white people. Not that there's not white gangs, of course. I mean, I'm Italian, right? We're the originators of organized crime. But cults are usually really weird white people who do really weird things. I'd assume this show has a lot to do with drugs and illicit sex parties. And if it's anything like real Hollywood, then hopefully they're sacrificing children and drinking their blood. If we want to get authentic here, if we want to get authentic and have a real show about a cult and fame and a girl whose career is in limbo, doesn't know what's going to happen next, there has to be some infanticide. If you're going to try to make it to the top, if you're going to make it to the top, okay, and you're not a guy in his backyard. I mean, I would think Oliver Anthony soon is going to he's going to be confronted with the possibility of eating a kid if he wants to keep this gravy train rolling. If he wants to go on tour, he may have to join a cult like this TV show.
May already have.
He may already have, yes. I don't know what goes down in that part of the country, but it's got to be a complete 360 from this other world that we're talking about in this show. Can we pull up the other article regarding why it's, maybe some more info on why it's getting taken down? Because, I mean, it sounds great. It sounds great. It sounds like...
The Variety one?
I think so, yeah. That'll be fine. Variety's great. So, let's see. What do we got? Everyone's intention was to have a second season. It was rumored that the show had been getting on Twitter. They didn't know status update yet. Lack of clarity. Created by Livingston in The Weeknd. The Weeknd starred opposite Lily Rose Depp. The Idol began making headlines. Doesn't really say. Doesn't say. Other than that, nobody on Rotten Tomatoes liked it. I mean,
There you go.
19% overall rating. Plays like a sordid male fantasy. Yeah. That's what it's supposed to be. Ratings for the series are middling. It premiered with 913,000 viewers, 70% in the 2019 launch of Euphoria, another HBO show hailing from Lives. Okay, so he's made a good show. It seems like this guy Livingston has a thing about the fringes of society. He likes to write shows about kids who do drugs. He likes to write shows about adults who do drugs. This seems to be his thing. And people do not like this particular show. Interesting, because everyone likes The Weeknd's music. Everyone likes it's almost like he should stick to that. It's almost like he should stick to singing and doing that type of thing. You know, it's strange because artists like to give themselves the creative liberty. They say, well, if I can make this one thing, then I'm good at it. Then it should translate to me making this other thing that's going to be really good. People are going to like it just because I'm me. And I don't know.
Trumpy there.
I don't know if that... Yeah, right at the end, right?
So,
Wow, a lot of people like it. I don't know why. I don't know why a lot of people like it. I don't like it. Everybody's saying it's bad. Take it down. Take it down off HBO. I called HBO. I said, hey, enough of this show. Enough of this show. We've seen enough. Take it down. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure he's going to continue making good music videos. You know, I've never really raged to The Weeknd, but I like some of his songs. I can't deny that. Maybe he should get back to music so that we can get these three bums off the top of the charts and let's get some real pop music playing. We need some mindless pop music. We can't have people thinking about things. Yeah. I don't know. Good for him. Good for them losing the show. I hope my favorite show, one of my favorite shows is already over, Ted Lasso. But I hope Severance comes back soon.
I watched the first season of that. That was good.
Severance is a good show. Yeah, I'm a fan of Severance. I like that nobody remembers anything. Like they leave and it's like
yeah, I kind of wish I was severed.
Well,
lately.
That's what makes the show interesting is because people think they're like, I wish I could just leave work and have no idea, like what kind of what that show is. They leave and they have no clue what they do for work. They don't even know what and when they're at work, they have no idea about their lives outside of work, which is that's might be the bad part.
For him, that was like why he got severed because he was, it's the only place he doesn't know about, like, his wife dying or something, right? Or sister.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly it. His sister's still around, but his wife died, and he's like, I mean, talk about a pussy. Talk about a softie. You know how many memories I wish I could fucking erase? Way worse. Go ask a guy that's in the front lines in Ukraine right now if he could get severed. He would love that. But that's a good show. I hope they figure out whatever this strike is. I don't know if ChatGPT is ever going to go away, but if it can make a show better than The Idol, maybe we should keep it around. It probably can, right? Maybe we should keep it around. I haven't fucked around on ChatGPT in a while, but it is a good time. It is at least a fun time.
It's very useful.
Oh, yeah, I know. I know that. You can just... I wish I was in school now, because you could just have it write everything for you, right? As far as I know. I just went on there to have it do funny things. Like, I'd be like, yeah, narrate a porno in the style of Vince McMahon. And that was fun. I don't remember what exactly was said, but I'm sure it was good. Yeah, so that's what's going on in entertainment. The another fun thing that I guess should be mentioned is unfortunately COVID. We got to talk about it a little bit. We don't have any articles about it because it's of course this horse is has been dead. We've been beating it. Everybody's been beating it. What I'm scared of is all the COVID-related content that's going to be coming up again. Going to open mics, going to comedy shows, and listening to everybody talk about COVID, kind of like I'm doing now. I just want to bring it up because I think right now the way people are reacting to it, because supposedly people are getting sick again, whatever. The way people are reacting to it is kind of like COVID's acting like an 80s hair band at the moment. It's trying very hard to hold on. It's like Motley Crue COVID right now. It's playing the hits. Everybody is, and so's the news, right? The news has got to play the hits about how numbers are on the rise. Remember that? That was always a topic of conversation. You could just walk up to somebody and you'd be like, "Hey, how are you?" And they'd get real close and say, "Numbers are on the rise." Right in their eyes. Their eyes would bulge out of their head. Numbers are on the rise. Did you know that? Numbers? Did you know the numbers are on the rise?
Yeah, we had Cuomo here every day telling us about them.
Yeah, right. Every single every deviation from the number they told you an hour ago, they have to keep you up on, But that's the old hits. That's what people want to see, right? That's why they pay money to see Kiss and Gene Simmons up there. I hope there's another 6 or 7 vaccines that come out that eventually we'll be talking about again when some other person that shouldn't be taking heart attacks or dropping dead or whatever, when that happens, then we can talk about the second round of COVID. I mean, according to the voice of reason, Alex Jones, he has a inside scoop in that maybe there could be some lockdowns again, which I would not be against. I had a great time during the lockdowns. I didn't have to work. I got paid every week, more money than I was making at the time working. That doesn't sound too bad. It doesn't sound too bad. I think that this time around people are going to be maybe a little more open-minded about the whole thing. I don't think it's as dangerous. I don't know if people care as much. I think it's now become like a flu, which is what everybody was saying it was going to become anyway.
Yeah, I think most people are tired of it.
Mm-hmm. Most people are tired of it, just like they're tired of hearing Welcome to the Jungle again on their local classic rock radio station. But then again, some people aren't. Some people, they look forward to hearing about it. They look forward to turning on the radio and listening to Paul and Al, shout out 94 HJY, Rhode Island, baby. Listening to those two guys crack jokes and talk about the new tours that Van Halen is going on or some shit. And people feel the same way about COVID, I think. I think, like you're saying, there's a lot of people who are annoyed and don't want to hear it, but there's probably a good swath of people that are itching to talk about it. I used to date a girl whose sister... I don't think they listen to this anymore. I used to date a girl whose sister writes for a major news fucking outlet, one of the big ones. And
Does it rhyme with PNN?
no, it rhymes with fuck. I'm forgetting the second word, but the first word rhymes with
Funyun?
Poshington.
Post?
That one. The Poshington Woast. That one right there. So she wrote for that, and a part of her job was covering the deaths on COVID, and, that bothered her a lot, even though she knew nobody who died from COVID. That could be an assumption, but I think it's true. I think that one's true. But she's an example of one of those people who want to talk about it, even if in that particular case it was her job. Even when she wasn't working, she liked talking about it. It was something to talk about. It was something that brought a little bit of flavor to everyone's vapid, meaningless, boring fucking lives. No, let's not get off track here. We are looking at COVID now as a goofy guy from a few decades ago that nobody really... He's doing commercials now, right? It's like seeing Jimmy Walker selling the hearing aids on television. It's like watching one of the old guys back in the day. What was the dude in Ted? Flash Gordon?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like seeing that guy in that movie.
There's some, Shaq still does, icy hot commercials and stuff, random stuff.
And
like
the
that.
other one with the General. That one's even worse.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah, General Insurance. I saw a thing at the gym today. It's kind of ironic that this was on at the gym. It was like a daytime television show, which is poison, if we're being honest. Just the fact that those are still around. But they were on there. It was Mario Lopez and some other woman, and they were tasting Shaq's fast food, because now he's got it's called Big Chicken. That's it, just Big Chicken.
I would try it.
It ships all over the country, so you can try it if you want. But it was funny because I was in the gym and I was watching them take these massive bites out of these chicken sandwiches that, for whatever reason, we as a country have been mesmerized by chicken sandwiches. Ever since Popeyes went crazy with the one, now every place has to have a fire fried chicken sandwich. Before that, a chicken sandwich was like, I don't know, it was usually grilled, if I remember. If you went to a restaurant.
Chick-fil-A, Team Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A, right. Chick-fil-A is fantastic. Sure. But even when you compare theirs to a Popeyes one, they're different. Like when you eat a Popeyes one, it's
Chick-fil-A also has the grilled options. Popeyes, nothing grilled in that whole place.
And they hate gay people,
They
which
do hate gay people.
and they're closed
Don't
on
both
Sundays.
hate gay people?
Popeyes, I suppose, in Louisiana, don't like gay people. They're close to Georgia though, and Atlanta is supposedly there's a lot of gay guys that hide it down there. That's what I've heard.
Atlanta has a lot of gay people.
A lot of gay guys, right?
Can confirm.
Yeah, right. So yeah, but even restaurants that not fast food places, they've all been inspired to make chicken sandwiches. Even the Super Size Me guy, when he did the second, because he made a second one, Super Size Me 2, and he made his own fast food chain, I guess. I don't think it ended up being a chain, and it was chicken sandwiches. It was all chicken sandwiches. Popeye's changed the game, and now anybody that has money needs to get in. I mean, Drake bought a big portion of Dave's Fried Chicken.
And then, who is it? Rick Ross has Wingstop. And they have really good chicken sandwiches now.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lemon pepper chicken sandwich.
Oh.
It slaps.
Lemon pepper. Yeah, it's but that's on brand, right? Rick Ross should own a
Yeah, Shaq's a little weird, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
As an athlete making a fried food thing.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if but then again, you think like Conor McGregor sells alcohol and he's supposed to be he's Irish though, so I guess it's
an Irish whiskey.
It's an Irish whiskey. But it is fried chicken that Shaq is selling. I mean, let's not if we're gonna talk about cultural backgrounds, let's not diminish that one. Yeah, that's what was on at the gym. That's what they put on at the gym when you get there, and it really wasn't morning. It was more like afternoon. Afternoon television has become something much different. It used to be like a little tame. This instance was somewhat normal, right? They're just tasting food on television. But daytime and middle of the day television has changed very much so. It used to be a little more easygoing. Now it's like, they're talking about anything and everything in the beginning of the day, and it's not really. I always love it when they have someone that comes on one of those shows and they don't give a fuck, like Bill Burr. Did you ever see Bill Burr on the daytime thing?
Or Mark Norman.
Oh yeah, he's like, I'm gay, and they're like, oh God.
How you feel? A little gay.
A little gay, yeah, exactly. Shaq said something about sleeping with the interviewer. That was funny. It was a quick little thing. I don't know what that stuff's even on for anymore. It used to be housewife. It was a housewife thing, but now, not only are there no housewives, if there are women who are stay at home, I don't think they watch daytime television
They
at
have
all.
every streaming service available now, doesn't?
Or they're streaming themselves.
Sure.
They're making bread, right?
Spread them legs, ladies.
Yeah, or they're TikToking, or they're finding a way to make money. They're finding a way to make money. You can't just be a stay-at-home person anymore as much as you want to. If Shaq is starting fast food chains, then you're behind. You're very behind. You can't afford to stay home like a brokey, even if you are a woman and your man is the top G. You kind of have to you have to do something. You have to do something. Nothing from nothing leaves nothing, God damn it. Anyway, COVID, who gives a shit? Treat it like the weird kid that lives at the end of the street who's looking for attention. Treat it like the kid that
Run away.
Yeah, alienate it, make him feel bad, right? Remember when you were...
comes back and shoots you.
Yeah, I guess. Be on your guard.
He comes back to bite you.
Don't have class with the new COVID because he won't tell you.
If you see a shape in COVID's backpack,
get to moving.
Yeah. Go
Go to the bathroom or something. Yeah, so fuck that. Fuck COVID. Fuck that whole topic. The Chicago, very interesting place I've never been. Have you been to Chicago?
a bunch of times.
Yeah. Is it nice?
Yeah,
The parts you go to, at least.
I've been to the shitty parts too, but
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I happen to really like Chicago.
A lot of people like Chicago. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, I almost moved there for film school.
Oh, really? That'd be dope.
But Robbed at gunpoint is on par for Chicago.
Sure. So, I mean, this is irony. This is real life irony. This is a bunch of people on the news who were covering robberies in the area, in this area of Chicago, and they got held up at gunpoint by a bunch of guys who were like, hey, y'all are making the block hot. Stop telling everyone about all the bad shit that's going on here. This is our block. We're supposed to be fucking things up, and you're in the wrong. You're in the wrong. A Chicago television news crew reporting on a string of robberies ended up robbed themselves after they were accosted at gunpoint by 3 armed men wearing ski masks. Spanish-language station Univision Chicago said a reporter and a photographer were filming just before 5 a.m. Monday in Chicago's West Town neighborhood when 3 masked men brandished firearms, robbed them, taking their television camera and other items. They were approached with guns and robbed. Mainly it was personal items, and they took a camera. Vice President of Univision Chicago told the Chicago Tribune. So these guys are they're the thieves in Chicago. To get robbed at 5 in the morning, that's dedication. These guys are up when the sun's coming up, before the sun.
It's prime thieving hours.
Prime thieving hours. And they maybe weren't. What do you think they were caught on film? I don't know. They stole the camera, so if they were caught on film, then they might have the actual, they might have the SD card. This is a perfect crime. This is a good crime. I have zero problem with this. This is,
They fucked around.
And they found out. That's how it goes in Chicago. Now, it's interesting that this was for a Latin news station, because Latin people are a little prejudiced. And that's me sitting here as a Italian/Portuguese guy. Both very, very historically racist people. But from what I understand, an outside view, Spanish people, and they can be a little touchy on the subject of race. I don't know what these gentlemen look like. They had masks on.
But you do, right?
And just as I was going to say, I'm not going to assume. And we won't, but we can guess. How about you guys in the comments? I want to see all your guesses on what ethnicity these thieves were. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. That's a tough day at work. There's a lot of jobs that you can, if you get robbed, it's justified, right? If you drive taxi and a guy, he robs you, okay, makes sense. You might have some money in there or whatever. If you're a cashier, if you work at a bodega or a corner store or a supermarket, right? You can get thieved, you can get robbed there. That makes sense. You got money on you.
And it's not your stuff.
And it's not your stuff. Right. Well, maybe the camera wasn't theirs.
Yeah.
Univision might be out of camera. They might be out of camera, and these guys lost what was on them. Well, hey, the next week, the next crew will go in there, and they will cover that robbery as well, in addition to all the new ones that have happened since then.
And they'll be strapped.
Yes, that's probably a good idea.
Bring your gets.
If you're going to be in a tough environment doing some journalism, some real street hardcore journalism, you got to be strapped. You got to be ready to go. You got to be, unless you're in another country. If you're in another country, then you end up being, they put you in a gulag somewhere, You end up like, what was her name? Brittany Griner?
Yeah.
Smoking CBD.
Bad trade, huh?
Bad trade. Very bad trade. We gave them, that's old news, but we gave them a pretty bad guy. A pretty bad guy. You could
say one of the worst.
One of the worst. One of our direct enemies, if we're being honest.
And what is she averaging? Should we look?
Let's see. She's supposed to be the best in the league, right? Isn't that her thing? She's supposed to be top of the charts, Brittany fucking Griner. She better be doing well. If we did all this and...
Okay, so she's not in the top 5.
She's not in the top 5 in offense. Is this offense or this is just...
Yeah, it's just straight up points.
Okay. Where is she?
11th.
11th. Not even top 10? Oh, my God. Put her back in the fucking brig. Put her in the basement. Jesus Christ.
18 points per game. That's what we traded you for.
Oh, the Minister of Death or the Angel of Death, whatever, the guy that we gave him back, he's dropping thousands, I'm sure, in weapons.
Yeah.
He's making bread. I don't know. His livelihood's probably a little more pertinent to his cause than her livelihood is to ours.
Like, you mean he makes more of an impact?
Probably.
To his surroundings?
Sure, I would think so. Yeah. I would think so. Like, if they locked up LeBron or something, then maybe I'd argue, right?
Fair deal. Yeah,
Yeah, that's fair because people watch the NBA. People watch LeBron, and we need people to be distracted and pay attention to that. The fact that we took back a WNBA player that, I mean, 11
points a game?
Ugh. God, can we see some other stats? Do we have, like, defensive stats? Where's she in terms of...
What, blocks or something?
Yeah, well, go back to the...
she's third in blocks.
Okay, all right. She's a wall. She's a brick wall. But who cares about that? No one wants to watch that. That's we want to watch knockouts. It's like Connor said, right? I fucking love knockouts. That's what we want to see. We want to see points. We don't care about blocks. It would be the same if they locked up Dennis Rodman in North Korea, even though he's friends with them, oddly enough. Nonetheless, she... how do we get into this topic?
Comparing someone to Brittany Griner.
Sure. Well, I was talking about how if you're going to be a journalist and you're going to be somewhere that's bad, you should probably have a weapon. And somehow that compares to a big woman in the WNBA that was left in a Russian prison.
And a smidge of pot.
A smidge of pot. That's right. Well, yeah, definitely.
It was like
it was a vape pen.
Yeah.
But it was like
THC, right?
Yeah, I think it
Controlled
was.
Substance.
Yeah, it was. Those Russians, they get wacky. Just like the last, they just killed the one dude. I forget his name. The guy that was gonna have
Bob Barker.
Oh fuck! How could we forget about Bob Barker? The Russians killed Bob Barker. He was gonna hold a coup against Vladimir Putin, and they took him down in a plane. Rest in peace, Bob Barker. He was a Russian visionary. He was he was a threat to Putin's throne, and they had to get him out of there. They couldn't have him allowing people to name the right price of refrigerators. They couldn't allow that. It was too democratic for them, so they took him out at the knees. You'll be missed, Bob.
99.
99.
Just under $1.
I know, huh? Almost a centurion. He, that guy was, for many people, almost like a babysitter. He's like a Bob Ross figure. Because when you were sick from school as a kid, you turned on The Price is Right. And you sat there and you watched that old fucker. How long was he on the show for? I mean, the dude, what's the guy's name now that does it? He was a comedian.
Is Drew Carey?
Drew Carey. He's been doing it for a long time. I feel like Bob Barker was probably 80 or something while he was still on the show.
Because even in Happy Gilmore, he's old.
Yeah, he's one of those people that has never been young, like Morgan Freeman and John Witherspoon. The other dude, what was the other guy? Alex Trebek, who died. Right, we've lost a lot here. And I mean, what a hell of a Russian intelligence agent Bob Barker was. He
35 years on the Price is Right.
35 years. Holy fuck, and the show is still on. How old is the show? It's got to be on since the 70s, definitely. It has to have been. Back when he held that big, long microphone with the poof on the top.
Since 72.
Whoa, Jesus Christ. 72, that's what? 51 years or something? That's insane. That's got to be one of the longest running shows on television. One of the longest running shows on television.
I think that there's a couple stints where it was, I think 2008 to 2019, it was nothing.
Oh, maybe that's when Bob stopped.
2008 maybe. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah, 72 to. Yeah, probably about that.
That's
yeah.
about it. Yeah, yeah. Wow. And it was all a Russian psyop. It was all just to see what Americans would pay for a microwave. Yeah. Rest in peace to him. Good thing you brought him up. I forgot about Bob Barker. Yeah. Well, what's the last thing we got? I think we got at least one more thing before we wrap this Bad Larry up. This is fun. This is a fun one. When did this happen? I don't think this happened yet. Has it? Okay, so this is fairly new. The 14th annual naked bike race in Philadelphia, baby. When it doesn't even say when it's happening, but it's the 14th annual one. And this is so. I don't know how you get legally how you get around this. I guess every year a bunch of people get naked. Oh, this already happened. August 26th.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
Sunday it happened.
It happened
Or
on
Saturday.
okay. All right. So we missed it, unfortunately, but nonetheless, I think it's something worth talking about because there are hundreds of people riding bicycles naked. I'm an avid bike rider, and I could not imagine riding a bike naked. That would be pretty bad. I mean, your balls and ass already take a beating when you're riding a bike. Can we play this video? There's a video of it. Thank you, AP. Riders cruise Philly streets in naked bike ride. Hundreds of riders in various states. I mean, these people are not... It can be anybody. It can literally be anybody. They're not... these people aren't Adonises. It's not Matt Rife riding around in these things. This is like Woodstock naked people. These are naked people who... And I mean, good for them. It's supposed to be... but like, who is this guy?
He's naked.
Christopher Jordan.
Oh my God! Look at this guy in the back.
Yeah. He's just chilling with his balls and legs out.
All right.
So you can wear some clothes if you want. There's a child. I guess children can participate.
What's going on?
Look at that. Oh my goodness. This is and look at
Taking
that
pictures.
and there's a complete naked dude just walking. And there's people watching and they're like, this is good. This is a good
They got
thing.
daiquiris.
That's fantastic. Organizers stressed, however, that participants weren't required to ride completely buff, telling them to get as bare as you dare. Imagine falling. Imagine the road rash. I mean, falling, hitting your cooch in the gravel. Oof. Jeepers. That doesn't sound like a good time. I don't know. I think maybe there's a little much on the naked front. There's a lot of naked stuff. I mean, it's good in the sense that I guess, as animals, we're supposed to walk around naked. That's, I guess, the plus side to it. But
Is it for a charity or something? What is it?
I don't know. I think it's literally just for... Oh, it's playing again. Oh, this is something else. This is DeSantis talking about people getting killed or killings. DeSantis.
Boring.
Another fun guy. Huh. So, it's a decent ride. 13 miles. You go past the Rocky Movie. I mean, and people say Philly has nothing. People say Philly has nothing to offer. I work with a kid from Pittsburgh, and he's like, dude, Philly sucks. He has nothing. But he clearly had never went to this naked bike race. Yeah, the naked stuff, you should probably keep it to the beaches.
Coffee shops.
Coffee shops.
It's a big thing in like Seattle. They have like those bikini baristas at coffee shops.
Really? And do they wear aprons so it looks like they're
No, just
naked?
bikinis.
Just
Yeah,
bikinis.
they make you coffee.
Wow.
Big thing.
Yeah. The all while this happens, and then Lizzo is calling people, fat pigs at the same time. And she's supposed to be the body positive queen. She's supposed to be at the top. She's supposed to be at this. She's supposed to be riding around on a bike, which will be even more impressive. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I like this idea. However, if you like it, we missed out this year. But set your fucking clock. Set a schedule in your phone, a reminder. August 26th was this past one. It must be the last Sunday of the month or Saturday of the month. Set your fucking thing for that. If you've always wanted to ride a bike, if you always wanted to feel your bare balls and ass on a bike seat, then you should now be allowed to do that. And now you are, as long as you wait for the right time. Don't do it at the wrong time, of course, because then it'll somehow be illegal, where it's legal on this specific date. Nonetheless, guys, good Lord, what a day, what a conversation that we all just had together. Isn't this nice? Isn't it nice to have a conversation and not have to say anything at all on the other end while you listen in your car or at your job? So keep doing that. Keep tuning in. Keep listening. We got plenty of shit coming for you on the horizon. Hopefully this room is going to look a little bit different in the next coming weeks. Not next week, but probably the week after. There's going to be some new additions. Other than that, thank you guys. We're done. Talk to you next week. Peace.